We're reading a book on heck. I kind of wanted to get in the spirit of this book, so I went all red, like red shirt, red light, red hair, but, hey, let's ignore that bit. This book was one of my favorites this semester, and while reading it, I was really interested in the aspect of hope in this story, and it related a lot to my faith. Just for the record, I work as a kids ministry intern at a local church. I am a Christian personally, and I uphold a lot of the basic beliefs of Christianity. So that being said, while reading this book, I was faced with a really interesting situation because I realized that hope, or lack thereof, played a big role in this book. You see, just as a setup, Christians believe that God created humanity and the world and everything in it to be good. It was initially intended to be good. During the 6 days of creation, God created everything to be good. He called it all good. And the reason why I keep repeating this word is because that's one of the most important parts of humanity, that it was created in the image of God and is therefore good. But why is the world the way it is now then? And that then leads into, the first sin with Adam and Eve. And from there, humanity created this rift that separated them from God that still affects every person to this day. So how does that relate to Heck, Texas? Well, Tex Gresham's book is actually a really fun way of looking at hopelessness. A lot of people think of hopelessness as, somebody crying in the rain who just had the worst day of their entire lives, who will never ever see the light of day again. And it gets really, really sad really, really fast. Whenever we see hopelessness, it connects to us on a deep emotional level, and we don't know what to do from then on out. Losing hope, I would say, is one of the worst things that could happen to a person. But the most interesting thing that I found while looking at Tex Gresham's book is that he takes this loss of hope, or I would even argue not even having hope in the first place, and turns it into humor. He turns it into comedy. Now, this is something that I really love. So Tex, instead of using this hopelessness as a way to make the reader feel bad or feel, shameful for who they are, he instead plays it up for laughs, which I think is far more interesting, because a lot of the time when we look at comedy, we like to think of it as lighthearted and meaningless, and that it's just to be played to get people to smile. But even though I would say Tex makes his reader smile in this book, it's rooted in this weird hopelessness. And what do I mean by that? I mean that the characters in this book, I would say, unlike humans in general, are not created with this innate goodness. They were not initially required to be good. Because these are characters and not people, Tex created them to basically be this outlet for putting pain and suffering and evil on other people. And it's really fun to think of it that way, because these characters are not constrained to something that all people have, and that is a conscience. Everybody, when they see something wrong, gets that little bug in the back of their head that tells you that what you're seeing is not right. But characters are not like us. There's this interesting divide between real people and characters, that even though a lot of people who are writers know that they want to get their characters as close and as realistic to people as possible, they will never be real people. Sure, they may cause real emotions and really affect people, but the characters inside will never be real. And that's interesting to think about, because then they're not constrained to this consciousness, to this morality like we are. Characters can do terrible things and not feel anything afterwards. Most people, I would argue normal people, when we do something bad, we have that thought in the back of our head that tells us it was bad. Even if you don't go to church or have a religious stance, everybody has this knowledge that something can be wrong. And the reason that it's so interesting when it comes to this book is that humor and hopelessness play together in such a way that I have never seen before. And it's not played to make you feel bad. It's played to make you smile. Hopelessness, in this case, is made to make you smile. Now, why is this? Why is this book, I would say, something that you're supposed to smile about? I mean, when we talk about bringing pain and suffering onto other people, it's not for laughs. Let me put it this way. Let's just say, for the record, you're walking into a 7-Eleven or any corner store, pick your favorite. And you walk in, and you're getting your Slurpee or your soft drink or whatever, and you walk right past the candy aisle, and there's this little moment in the back of your head where you think, could I get away with stealing that Snickers bar? Now, it's only $1 and it's never worth it to do it, but that thought then just creeps up in your head for just a moment. And you kind of laugh at yourself as you dismiss it and then pay for your Slurpee and then go on your way. But that thought being there is kind of funny in of itself. And I think it's that kind of humor that Tex plays with here. It's childish humor. It's, oh, that'll never happen type humor. The reason that I call it childish in a way is because it's, for example, on page 69 of this book, he has an arrow pointing it to, and it says, "This is funny." And that is true. The number 69 is funny regardless of the context because, haha, it's the sex number. It's the same thing with 420 of, haha, that's the weed number. This comedy doesn't have any backstory. It's just funny because it is. It's like watching videos of people falling off bikes. It's funny because it is. It's not that you need a whole story for it to be humorous. It's just funny because it's ridiculous. And that's where this book thrives. So, relating this back to Christianity and faith that I want to talk earlier, number one, I just thought it'd be a fun time for me to be like, oh, look, Christian guy talking about a book. But at the same time, I've noticed a lot of humor is dying, ironically. A lot of humor is being washed away. And it's sad to see, and obviously I'm not talking about the humor that is intended to offend first and foremost. I'm just talking about plain funny. The ridiculous funny. When humor starts to die, people take life more seriously. And when they take it this seriousness, it's not the good type of serious that we need in things like law or in politics. It's the stuff that makes it to where people are less friendly with each other. Where gaining personal relationships with others becomes far more difficult than it used to be. This pandemic causing everything to come online is one of the ways that we have kind of fallen out from each other. You know, and I'm just going to cause a spade a spade. Ever since Donald Trump became president, a lot more people have been divided. Now, who you blame for that may be different from who I blame from that. But we cannot deny the fact that the divisions are still there. We used to get along just fine. But we no longer do. And quite frankly, I don't care whose fault it is. Honestly, more than anything, I just want to laugh again. I just want to not take life as seriously as others are telling me to take it. So I will smile. I will have fun. I will dye my hair red because I want to do a bit. And I will be working at a church the entire time. Let's not kill funny. Let's not kill jokes. Let's not kill good times. Let's stop caring about who somebody voted for and just be friends because you like them or you like their face. Heck, Texas is a good book because it's funny. First and foremost, it's funny. Thank you for watching.